Okay, thank you very much. We're about to commence. Just before we proceed, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Yusuf Abubakar, and I have the honor of serving as your Master of Ceremony for this two-day event. So I'll be guiding us through the session to ensure that we remain aligned to our program. Speaking of which, the program has been slightly adjusted. We were supposed to commence with the matters arising. However, we will take our paper one immediately now, which is the recent developments in the pension industry. This session is expected to highlight the most recent reforms, the operational improvements, and emerging priorities of the CPS ecosystem. So please welcome our presenter, Mr. Ibrahim Boué.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this Consultative Forum. My task this morning is to update you on the recent developments in the pension industry. Indeed, over the past 1 year, the pension industry has been undergoing an enormous transformation. As you're all aware, the whole purpose of the pension reform that was undertaken in 2004 is to have a sustainable pension system that works for the retirees, that recognizes the dignity of labor, that enables people to live happily thereafter, having given their all during their active working life. The reforms that we have undergone over the past 1 year are targeted at really taking the contributory pension scheme to the next level. And we are gratified that so many of the issues that we have had in the past, so many of the bottlenecks, the challenges, as you can see in my presentation, we are gradually coming to a point whereby we are resolving some of the most teething challenges. And this is now a good time for the states, for those that have not already keyed in, or that have not advanced in the implementation of the contributory pension scheme. I want to tell you that there is no better time than now. So what I will do is, because like I said, the past 1 year has been really action-packed. The activities, the new policies rolled out, issues that we have solved are really many. I will just go through, but I will just be emphasizing on the pertinent ones that I think are most relevant to the situation, to you as states. To those issues, further encourage you to actually fast track, double the pace of your implementation of the contributory pension scheme. There is the pension revolution, what the Director General of the pension revolution 2.0. And that pension revolution 2.0 in a nutshell is, like I've already said, it is deepening the contributory pension scheme to explore new frontiers in terms of expansion of coverage to the underserved, to the informal sector, in terms of deepening pension fund investments to attain real returns, so that the retirement savings account of retirees can grow into a bigger pot to enable them to retire in dignity. Next slide, please. So, one of the major components of the pension revolution is the issue of expanding the pension coverage to the informal sector. As you are aware, the Nigerian workforce is largely comprised of people who work in the informal sector. In fact, statistics range anywhere between 70 to 80 million out of the Nigerian workforce are actually people who are in the informal sector. The artisans, the entertainers, the sportsmen, people who do their own thing, your regular plumber, your electrician, you know, these move the bulk, yet unfortunately they are not, most find they are not covered by any pension arrangement. And coverage in the pension is more important in countries like ours, where unlike the developed nations, we do not have much of social security arrangements. So what have we done? The micro pension plan that has been in existence since 2019, the Commission recognized that it has not really achieved the kind of traction that was envisaged from the onset. So a totally redesigned micro pension plan, now called the personal pension plan, and next slide please, has been rolled out through the issuance of this personal pension plan guidelines. And I'll just take you through some of the key features. Number one, the coverage of the personal pension plan has now been extended. Even minors who are not up to 18 years old, similar to what you have in the banks, where you can open like a smart kid save account for your child or whatever. You can also open a personal pension plan account for your child under your own RSC. By the time he gets to 18, he now takes control of that account. Then another significant feature of the new personal pension plan is that in order to simplify registration, make onboarding simpler, accredited pension agents, and these accredited pension agents will be payment solution providers, will be engaged by the PFS to engage in marketing of the personal pension plan and to also provide platforms that will make for easy registration and easy remittance of contributions. So the idea is to have registration being as simple as having an NIN and a phone number, or as I like to put it, registration under the new personal pension plan for access will be as simple as going to a POS. That's the actual target. Where we are now is we're in the process of licensing these accredited pension agents. These accredited pension agents will serve as agents to the pension fund administrators to market and to get these people now to enroll on the personal pension plan. Another significant feature is because this aspect is voluntary, and like I said, looking at the segment that it covers, your regular people, the artisans or whatever, there's a provision for contingent withdrawal. Every contribution that comes into this personal pension plan, 50% of it will be locked for pension, while 50% will be accessible to the contributor to meet contingent needs. We know people always have issues around school fees, around health and whatever, so that's why that 50% is allowed. The contributor can access.
Just take a moment to recognize the arrival of the Commissioner Inspectorate, Chief Sam, who is the Commissioner Inspectorate of the National Pension Commission, representing Director General. Good morning.
Okay.
We continue with our chamber presentation.
Okay. Commissioner, you're welcome. So like I was saying, I've already explained that it will have a very simple and easy registration, just to encourage this uptake. Next slide, please. So there's something very major that is about to happen in the pension industry. The pension industry is now at a level whereby it has come together through a corporate social responsibility initiative whereby the pension fund administrators and PENCOM are putting aside funds to provide free health care through health insurance to retirees under the contributory pension scheme. And that's why I told you that there is no better time to be part of the CPS than now. Remember, one of the main issues that retirees always encounter is that given advanced age, you will find that people have a lot of health challenges. So the industry came together, organizing that fund is an indirect way of boosting their retirement income, because if there is a provision for free health care now, it means they can use their regular pension for other things. This initiative, which is called the Pen Care, is going to be launched by Mr. President very soon, within the next few days. So the idea is that it will start at some point, it will start small with a pilot scheme that aims to cover at least 30,000 retirees of the contributory pension scheme. These retirees will be selected, will begin with the lowest income, and then hopefully it will cascade. The idea is that in time, the scheme is going to cover the entire retirees of the contributory pension scheme. I'm sure there will be no doubt that this scheme is a major breakthrough, and it signifies the extent to which the contributory pension scheme has really come to stay in Nigeria and is achieving the objective for which it was set up in the first place. Other significant developments, I know I'll get to discuss them in detail. First, the approval of the issuance of the 758 billion naira bond earlier this year by Mr. President and the Federal Executive Council to settle all outstanding pension liabilities of the federal government under the contributory pension scheme. Now, this is very, very significant because some of these liabilities date back to 2007. And these liabilities have a slide where I'll talk on the details. Maybe I'll just leave it till I get to that slide. Second, since the implementation of the contributory pension scheme, there have been agitations around the issue of gratuity for federal government workers. And the point has always been that the Pension Reform Act never abolished gratuity. Indeed, Section 4 of the Pension Reform Act provides for additional benefit scheme, meaning the Pension Reform Act recognizes that the employer can offer, an end of service, a gratuity, by whatever name called, to the employees as a kind of a handshake at the point of retirement, without necessarily using the word gratuity. And that's been the point that we've always been advocating, that the provision actually exists, it's just about implementation. So in taking this forward, the Director General of Olora led the presentation of a proposal from PENCOM to the head of civil service of the Federation for the federal government to consider the introduction of gratuity. So what's going to happen is that by the time this proposal is approved, is that at the point of retirement, the retiring civil servant will get paid this gratuity en bloc from the fund that is to be established for this purpose. He will get this directly in his bank account, in addition to what he already has in the retirement savings account. He will also access that as normal. So this is coming now as an addition, to just further, make sure that retirees are happy and they're able to meet their needs. There's the issue of pension payment as and when due. Now, this is also another very, very momentous development. Before now, as at last year, when the current BG came on board, there was a point where we had liability of payment of accrued pension rights. Accrued pension rights, by the way, mean these are the past service liability for the federal government employees who are in service as of June 2004. meaning what would have been their payment in terms of pension and gratuity had they retired in June 2004 when the contributory pension scheme was established. So this normally comes as an envelope payment at retirement into the retirement savings account, which is what now enables the retiree to start accessing pension. For over 10 years, we have been having issues about the release of funds in respect to the federal government treasury funded MBS on these approved pension rights, such that people retired and they didn't get paid for 1 month, 2 months. In fact, at some point, we had liability for up to 21 months. As we speak today, I'm happy and I'm overjoyed and I'm enormously proud to inform you that retirees of November are being paid in November. Retirees, equally retirees of December, will also be paid in December, same month as you retire. Thereby, actually, I was expecting an applause for the federal government on this. Yes. Yeah, because it's really gigantic. I cannot allow that moment to pass. That is the original intent and mandate of the contributory pension scheme. That was the main reason why the contributory pension scheme was established in Nigeria in the first instance. To enable people to retire and receive their retirement benefit seamlessly. That is the point where we are now. You know, having come out of a point where we had areas of up to 24 months. So, in effect, what we are saying is that if you now going forward, if you hear anybody complain, any federal government employee who retires complaining of not being paid, is that maybe the person did not do what he ought to do. Since again, the contributory pension scheme is also a system of rules. The retiree himself ought to take some actions, ought to provide some documentation, ought to approach his EFA in order to be able to achieve this aim of timely access of benefits. Next slide, please. So, I spoke about the 758 billion naira bond, which again is another huge achievement. What's going to happen on this is that there have been pension increases since 2007 that the contributory pension scheme pensioners have never benefited. That's the major component. There are the accrued pension rights that I told you about. There is also a provision for the Pension Protection Fund. The Pension Protection Fund is a provision in the Pension Reform Act whereby a fund is established that will now take care of ensuring that anybody who retires under the contributory pension scheme is guaranteed a minimum pension. So meaning by the time the fund takes off, and now the fund is set to take off because the federal government all along, the fund gets contributions from the federal government, the pension industry, meaning the pension fund operators and the commission. The pension industry operators and the commission have been setting aside their own contributions for so many years. What has been delaying the take-up of the minimum pension guarantee is that the federal government has not made good its own portion, which with the attainment of this fund now, that money is also being set aside. As we speak now, and this is now another important one. All the pension increases for the retirees since 2007, those who are entitled to them, the commission is in the process. The proceeds of the fund have been received, and the process of remittance of these funds into retirement savings accounts is forced. So as we speak, within the next few days, retirees of the federal government, existing retirees of the federal government, are going to be happy like they've never been in so many years, because they are going to receive all these monies. They are going to receive the bulk of the monies, of these pension increases as per the guideline that the commission has already directed the PHS what to do. So again, given our concern about ensuring that things happen quickly, things happen seamlessly, PFAs are under strict direction of what to do. The retirees will not need to do much. They will just see alerts in their account very, very soon. The next few days, like I said. Next slide, please. So again, another development is the pension boost. The pension boost is just a pension enhancement exercise that is conducted periodically. What does that mean? After every 3 years, the retirement savings account balances of retirees under the contribution scheme is reviewed by the Commission. And what we have been encountering actually, and this one again speaks to the fact that the scheme is being run very well, pension investments are safe, pension investments are generating return. We've been having a scenario whereby somebody retires, he begins to access pension, assuming at the time that he retired, let's say he had an RSC balance of, let's say, 10 million. He accessed, let's say, 4 million. He has 6 million as RSC balance. You will find that 3 years into receiving a monthly pension, his RSC balance will now be nearly 7 million. Meaning the money is not reducing, the money is actually increasing. And this testifies to the fact that the issue of safety of pension fund investment is not something that there can be any debate about. Indeed, when it comes to the issue of safety and transparency in terms of investment, that is not even one of our major challenges. That is an area that I can confidently tell you that the pension industry has done exceedingly well. So on account of this, when this analysis is done, so it only means that pensions can be increased. So for this kind of account where these RSC balances are increasing instead of reducing, the retiree gets additional pension, gets his monthly pension increase. And that's what was done in the pension boost, which took effect in June, but was actually announced in July. And this grew monthly pension from over 12 billion to 14 billion monthly, covering about 80% of retirees as at that time got that increase. And each retiree got increase in the proportion to which his retirement savings account has increased. So again, there's also the pension contribution remittance system, which is also now on board. What this is actually, this is about providing employers with a reliable means to remit monthly pension contributions. What this industry initiative seeks to resolve is the issue of uncredited contributions. We have situations whereby employers remit monthly contributions to PFAs, but the PFAs are not able to credit retirement savings accounts. Why? Because employers did not send schedules, the RSA pins are wrong. So what is that? The pension industry has engaged about 9 payment solution providers, which an employer needs to select one and send they provide the platform now for the remittances. What the platform does, it ensures that we don't have this issue of uncredited contribution because the platform automatically ensures it checks the RSA pins, checks their correctness, and now allows these remittances to go through. But what is important now to state is that this comes at no cost to the employer. The employer is not paying a dime. So instead of the whole system of sending a schedule to the bank with all the attendant mistakes, all the employers need to is just to select any of the 9 payments for the same pension bureau for the states who are doing regular contributions. I need you to know this because since the onboarding of the system, pension contributions are not going again under the whole supply. If you need further details, check our website. We have a section of all the payment solution providers are listed there, and it's for the employer to just select and do the remittances. Next slide. There have been also significant changes in terms of the way we do benefit administration. And remember, when I started from the beginning, having the main objective of the pension reform in mind, and the main objective is to ensure timely payment to retirees and when to ensure that the sum total of all that we do is to ensure that the retiree is happy, the retiree's payment gets there faster. So, before this change from inception to, up to this point about 6 months ago, benefit payments required approvals from PENCOM. Meaning, if you approach your PFA at the point of retirement, your PFA needed to process, then send to PENCOM. PENCOM needed to review and give approval before the PFA now pays you your benefits. What this reform does is that we have ceded that power of approval. We have taken it away from PENCOM and ceded it back to the PFA. The PFA is now empowered to process and approve payments, and they are mandated to ensure that process is done in 48 hours. Once that approval also gets to the pension fund custodian, the